What's up guys? In today's video, we're gonna talk about 3 reasons why you should buy the Sony A7 III in 2021. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and we are super excited to start bringing you product reviews. This is something that's been a passion of mine for a really long time. It's actually the reason that I got into filmmaking in the first place. And so it's really cool that we get to do this now that we have some awesome gear. And so really the goal of this is to educate you, to give you our perspective on what gear you should buy if you're a similar company to us, kind of a smaller production company, what gear we use, what gear is good enough. You know, there's always new things coming out. There's always new products coming out. So we'll do our best to do the research for you really, so that you can just watch these videos and get educated on the different products that we've used and found that really help us in our business. And so let's get into it. 3 reasons why you should buy the Sony A7 III in 2021. Now, I can already hear you saying, the A7S III is here, the A7R4 is here, the A7R3 is around, and I just want to say, I know that all of those cameras exist, and for the longest time, I was eagerly anticipating the release of that Sony A7S III. For so long, anyone that knows us can tell you, I was talking about it, I was excited about it, I was waiting every time they would drop an announcement, I'm like,
oh, it's A7S III.
And so it took way longer than it should have to come out, and so we really leaned in on Sony A7 IIIs. This is the camera that we bought right when they came out. We upgraded from Sony A7S IIs to the A7 IIIs, and that's been what we've shot 95% of our wedding, commercial, TV, ads, all kinds of stuff. 95% of what we've shot in the last 3 years have been on this camera right here. And without further ado, let's dive into reason number 1 why I think the Sony A7 III is still a viable camera purchase in 2021. And that would be its price and its value. For $1698, which is the current going price for this body, brand new from a B&H or Amazon or Adorama, $1698 is gonna get you a full frame camera that shoots 24 megapixel stills. It has dual card slots, amazing autofocus, and all the features that you would want out of a professional camera. Now, I'm not gonna say that this camera is as good or will do everything that the A7S III will do. Of course, it doesn't do 4K 120, it doesn't do 10-bit video, but I would say if you are just starting out, or even if you've been doing this for a while, this is still a worthy upgrade and you'll still get years of use out of the video quality and the photo quality that this camera puts out. Which brings me to my second point, which is the overall specs of this camera. And I remember when this camera first came out, me just thinking that it was so well-rounded. And it really did sound like the perfect camera. Now, if they came out with the A7 IV with a tilt screen and the stuff that they put in the A7S III, now that would probably be the perfect camera. But this was pretty darn close, especially at this price point. So what you're getting in this camera in 2021, you're getting awesome 4K video, 4K 30 frames per second. You're getting 1080 120 using the full sensor, which was a great upgrade if you ever shot with the A7S II, which you had a massive crop if you wanted to shoot 120. So this was the first Sony camera that did full frame, 120 frame, 1080 video, and I would say it's very, very clean. It looks awesome still. The 120 frame video out of this camera, we use it for all of our wedding films, and it's great. 10 frames per second shooting, which is awesome. And it's 24 megapixels, which unless you're doing large prints, should be totally fine for you. Even professional photographers, I know of some very well-known wedding photographers that still shoot on this camera, and it's just awesome. The image quality is great for both photo and video. It has great dynamic range. The autofocus is better than the A7R III, which is $500 more because it's a newer camera. It had the upgraded autofocus, and so you can shoot sports with this camera. We've done it before, dual card slots, and it really does feel like they put so many of the features from their pro cameras, from the A9, from the A7R, in this camera, and it was the first time that the A7 felt like that professional camera, because the A7 II, A7 I, those were pretty trash. So the A7 III, awesome camera, overall specs, especially for the price, it still performs very, very well, video performance and photo performance in 2021. And guys, guess what the third reason is? It doesn't overheat. It's amazing. No, I'm just kidding. That's not actually the reason. But I will say, we've had 5 of these cameras. We've shot weddings outside, shooting 4K for an hour at a time in 100-degree weather. And the heat index is 108. And we're sweating. And our cameras are just fine. They haven't overheated a single time. Like I said, we have 4 of these sitting right here on the table. A 5th one shooting this right now. Never had any issues with them overheating. So that's great. Overheating is terrible, so you want a camera that's not going to overheat. But the real third reason that we stay with the A7 III in 2021 is really, it's more of a reason that it fits our needs. So it's not necessarily a reason why this camera is better than others, but at this point in time, we're not at a point in our company where we have a massive server and we can afford to be shooting projects where we're shooting over a terabyte on a wedding day. I've talked to people who are shooting A7S3s and they're shooting over half a terabyte on every single wedding day. And so that gets expensive, that gets costly, that gets, it becomes a lot of time management. It gets risky if you don't do it right, if you don't have the right backup systems in place. And so the third reason that we stay with this camera is that you get the best of both worlds in terms of you're getting a great image quality that still holds up, that still does just fine for us, for wedding films, for commercial work in 2021. But you're also getting the small file sizes that come from shooting compressed 8-bit video that really make it so that we can shoot 20, 30 weddings in a year, and we don't have to buy a whole server just to manage that data and make sure that nothing gets lost. We've had file storage issues before where we lost a project that a client hired us for. You don't want that to happen to you. And so if you are prioritizing, I want the best image quality, but you don't have the storage infrastructure to back it up, I would strongly recommend that you reconsider. And the A7 III to us is the perfect balance of we're getting great photo quality, great video quality at a manageable file size where we can fit a whole wedding day on one 128 gig card. We're not filling up our hard drives every other shoot, and we can keep going and really just turning out more projects that at the end of the day, the couple, the bride and groom, the client, they're likely not going to notice that difference between the A7 III or the A7S III footage if you know what you're doing in lighting and audio and all of the other aspects of filmmaking. So I hope that's helpful for you. I hope if this gave you a reason not to want to jump to the most expensive thing, if you can buy this camera and a good lens, do that instead of buying an expensive camera and a crappy lens. And so if this helped you, drop a like, leave us a comment. What products do you want to see us review next? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications for new videos, and we will see you in the next one.